Soccer popularity is due to its universal appeal. There's no discrimination as to sex, size, or strength. But what happens when the snow falls? Well, some of the big kids go inside to play.
New Kids in Town, the birth of the Cincinnati Kids professional indoor soccer team. New Kids in Town is brought to you by 5, the originator, your #1 sports station in Cincinnati, and the television home for the new Cincinnati Kids.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tom Kelly. This is Bob Trumpy. We're all set to introduce you to this city's newest professional team in the Major Indoor Soccer League, the Cincinnati Kids. Robert?
And they join a league of 5 other teams: the Cleveland Force, the Pittsburgh Spirit, the Philadelphia Fever, the New York Arrows, and the Houston Hurricanes.
All right, let's kick it off.
You got it.
They'll play here in Riverfront Coliseum on a special AstroTurf-like surface. The field is approximately 200 feet long by 85 feet wide and is surrounded by the same boards and glass that are used for hockey. The goals at each end are 6 feet 6 inches high and 12 feet long and are inset into the boards. The artificial turf is applied to an insulating board that separates it from the ice, and the entire field can be set up in a short time. Well, not quite that short.
But things do happen fast in this game, Tom. With the smaller playing area, the slick turf, and the ball banking off the boards, the action is almost non-stop. The clock will stop only when a goal is scored, the ball leaves the playing surface, a penalty call, a red line violation, or an official timeout.
The field itself is divided by a center line and 2 red lines, each 30 feet from the center line. The red line violation you mentioned, Trump, occurs when the ball travels across both red lines without being touched by another player. If that happens, the ball is awarded to the other team for a kick from the first red line cross. This forces a team to control the ball rather than kicking the bomb. A line surrounds the perimeter of the playing surface and is called the touch line. If the ball leaves the playing surface, play restarts with a kick in at the spot of the touch line where the ball left the field.
Penalties can range from minor to major, and the effects range from warnings to loss of players for 2 or 5 minutes to penalty kicks. Players who have to serve penalty time sit in a penalty box at midfield across from the players' benches, identical to hockey. While a player is serving a penalty, his team plays shorthanded, not being allowed to substitute for him. A team could be forced to play up to 2 men short if they don't mind their manners. The general categories for penalties are delay of game, ungentlemanly conduct, and violent conduct.
The size of the field reduces the number of players to 5 field players and a goaltender rather than the standard 11 players in the outdoor game. Free substitution is allowed during action, adding strategy to the game as players jump over the boards to and from the bench during action. We'll come back and meet the man hired to build this team in just a moment. Youth and recognition for North American players are stressed in the Major Indoor Soccer League. The active roster of 14 players on each team may include only 4 non-North Americans. Most players are drawn from collegiate and North American Soccer League ranks. Soft-spoken head coach Len Billows brings a blend of experience and youth to the kids. A collegiate star with Temple University, an assistant coach at Princeton, and head coach at Quinnipiac College in Hamden, Connecticut, he is optimistic about the new indoor game. We followed Len through a special open tryout for the kids in which anyone could show off their skills.
And the other team will be attacking this goal. Okay, let me just make a couple statements to you. We're not looking to see how anybody can kick somebody in the shins or anything like that. You're all here for the same purpose, that is to try out and show us what you have. Okay, good luck.
With the tryout in progress, I asked Coach Billows what he was looking for.
Basically, a good ability to control the ball, team concept to understand how you relate with other players on the field, and well, it was tactical awareness of the player, besides the technical skill of the player, and whether or not he can take it physically. It's not the only thing we're looking for, but that will be the end factor.
Len, 60 people were here at 7 o'clock.
Right.
Out of 60, if you got one, would you feel surprised with that?
No, I don't think I would feel surprised. I would expect at least one player to be invited to try out.
Good shot.
To join us in the training camp.
Maybe as many as a dozen.
Well, I wouldn't hope I wouldn't expect a dozen, but I would expect one or two. And if we get one player to make the team, it'll be a good tryout.
You're very calm for a coach who's looking ahead to a sport that's new in a city, and that you've never done this particular thing before, coach an indoor team.
Right. Well, I've played indoors, and I've coached teams that have played indoors, and there's nothing, that you can do more than what I'm doing. You have to look at the players, you have to evaluate them, and that's the easiest process. And the coaching part and the winning part is a little tougher. But hopefully we'll be able to do it.
You don't have much time.
That's right. We're short on time. Believe me, I think about the amount of time that we have, and I know that we started late, and I wish we had more time.
On a night of expectation for the participants, there was strong competition, but for one man, Hans Tandup, the fun of trying out for a professional team ended in disappointment. Not only the disappointment of failing to make the squad, but in an athlete's biggest fear, injury.
How about here?
No. Yeah, he's getting that.
Yeah?
Yeah, right there.
Right here.
The attending physician is Dr. Mike Malik, part of UC Sports Medicine Institute.
All right. I think you've torn your Achilles tendon, and we probably have to get you down to a hospital. Now, it's your choice wherever you want to go. But
Hans, a chef in Cincinnati, told me what brought him to the Coliseum.
I'm a runner, and I play soccer, and I'm coaching a soccer team, and 8 to 10 years old. And the guy that I coach with, he called me tonight and said, "Hey, why don't you go to the Coliseum and try out? They have a soccer tryout for the kids."
Cincinnati Kids.
Right. So I said, "No, I'm not good enough, and I'm old." So he said, "Oh, come on, why don't you go there?" So I told my wife, "Heck, let me just go and try to play. I always wanted to try, and I did play a few games in Denmark indoor." So I went over here, and 2 or 3 times I decided, "Heck, let's just quit it and go home again." So went in and tried, and here I am.
You're going to go to St. Elizabeth's Hospital to have an orthopedic surgeon examine it tonight.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm a runner, and I want to come back out there running.
Dr. Malik is strongly involved in sports medicine and takes a special interest in soccer.
played soccer myself for about 10, 12 years, and that's why one of my interests is. And I am doing at the present time with the Sports Medicine Institute of University of Cincinnati, we are doing a study, a nationwide study on the soccer injuries. And most of the soccer injuries involves the lower extremities, mainly knee and ankle. And it's not as severe as football injuries is, but probably the number of injuries is going to be more than any other sports.
But for this young man, Brian Robertson, the story is a happier one. Born in Guyana, South America, playing from childhood, the States in 1970, Say Soccer, the Junior Comets, 4 years at XU, and now trying out for the kids.
I didn't think I did so well because I'm not accustomed to this. The turf is a little bit shaky, you know, and my feet are sticking to the ground. I really was afraid because, you know, after getting out of college, before I went to college, I used to dream about playing professional somewhere around the place, you know. And now that I'm here and I got the chance to try out, it really was a scary thing coming in here tonight. And
well, Coach Billows may decide to invite you to the training camp. We might see some more of you.
Right, yeah. Well, hopefully, I hope he do. And if he does, I'm going to have to relax a little bit more and just give the man what he needs.
Brian got the job done. Following morning, he was invited to training camp with his team.
The local showing was no surprise to Jim Worley, head coach of Walnut Hills High School soccer. Jim is the community relations director for the kids and is excited about the emphasis on local involvement.
I think everyone in the whole area is just totally enthused with the idea, just the fact that we're bringing pro soccer to Cincinnati, whether it be outdoor or indoor, is just exactly what the people in the community have been looking for. You know, we've got perhaps the 4th largest Little League program in the whole nation here right now, and we need an outlet at another level. And we've got a couple good collegiate teams. We've got a fantastic high school program and the Little League program. Now this adds another dimension that we're sorely in need of. Our kids in a couple of years will be ready to move into this type of competition.
The kids' local tryout acknowledged the growth of soccer in this area and was important in building the local support they'll need to survive. We'll look at the key position in this game in a moment. From this vantage point, it's easy to see that the big pressure in this game is the property of the goaltender. Quick hands, quick feet, and a desire to be the target of a ball traveling up to 60 miles per hour. Perhaps it takes a different breed of person. Long Island to upstate New York, collegiate hockey, to Cincinnati indoor soccer. How does it all work?
Well, you mean as far as, you know, going from one area to another or from college to pro?
You never expected would happen.
Oh, yeah. You know, since my junior year in high school, I really set my goals on becoming a professional athlete. You know, and from college, I was, you know, first-round draft choice for the Dallas Tornado. Then from there, I ended up co-rookie of the year and first-team All-Pro in the ASL. And then I went back to Houston and, you know, had a fairly successful year, and now in Cincinnati. I don't think my wife enjoys the traveling as much as I do, but, you know, I enjoy it a lot, and, you know, it's been great.
What do you need to be a good indoor goalkeeper? That there has to be some differences between the outdoor and indoor game as far as the skills you need.
An indoor goalkeeper needs to be a nut. There's about, I'd say about 50 to 60 shots in a game. And you need to be extremely quick to be an indoor goalkeeper and extremely strong. I think they're the 2 biggest assets as a goalkeeper to be successful.
So you have to get your head on straight for the game. I mean, is that tough for you, Keith? Do you have a regular preparation period you go through?
Yeah, I usually, you know, a day before the game, I really start to think about the opposition, who I'll be facing against. I know most of the players in the league. I'll start to be thinking about, you know, kind of picture in my mind the shots I'll be stopping and that type of thing. And then a half an hour before the game, I'll go through my preparation of stretching and warming up and just get out there and get going.
At what point do you lose track of the fear aspect? Can you divorce that completely?
I think you do. Once you get involved in the game, you know, every once in a while you get kicked in the face and you say, what the heck am I doing out here? But, you know, it's funny. There's just a certain line that, you know, after maybe a minute or two into the game, you just forget about the injury or the fear that you might be facing and some of the shots or some of the tricky plays you might come up against.
Will you be the first goalkeeper to wear a cage?
To wear a cage?
Around your face? A mask of some kind?
No. I don't think that indoor soccer is anything as dangerous. Well, it's dangerous to the goalkeeper. I shouldn't say that, but it's not anywhere as a hockey goalkeeper has to worry about with a puck going 50, 60 miles. You know, could really hurt him. Where a soccer ball is going 50, 60 miles, but I've never, you know, ever thought about wearing a mask.
It's interesting that he would admit he's a flake. Up front with it, right up.
Well, I don't consider myself a flake, but most people, you know, consider all goalkeepers flakes. They say you got to be a little nuts to be a goalkeeper, but, you know, that's debatable.
Indoor soccer has been designed to be an offensive game. With a smaller field than outdoor soccer, contact will be harder and more frequent. This means not only will quickness and agility be mandatory, but size and strength may also play a factor. Doug Work, on loan to the kids from the San Jose Earthquakes of the NASL, told me what to watch for in indoor soccer.
I'd say probably the amount of goals that will be scored. We hope that, you know, outdoors you get games 1-0, 2-1, 1 each. Hopefully indoors we'll have games like 7-5, 11-2. There was an exhibition game played last week with New York and they won the game 20-2. So hopefully that would bring the fans back in.
And Since most of these guys are coming from outdoor, what's the biggest adjustment they have to make to indoor soccer?
The big one is that outdoors, as you know, it's a lot larger area, and indoors we have to play. The game is so fast that everything is sprints. You know, there's no sort of, you don't have a chance to jog back into your position. You've got to sprint, so it's in and out, and you've got to realize that, you know, you have to substitute yourself when you're tired.
Yeah, and you're an offensive player. What are you looking for to get the goals for Doug?
Personally, my game is just, you know, I'll just shoot from anywhere. You know, a lot of players, some players you have, they're a bit more skillful, so they'll try dribbling the ball in on the goalkeeper and that. But I think the more shots you take on goals, it's, you know, it's like every other sport. The more shots you take, the more chance you've got of scoring.
And I would suppose also because of the boards that you have to stay after the ball for the rebound.
Yeah, you don't stop. Once you've shot, you know, the ball to go out of bounds has to go quite high. So if you shoot and it's anywhere in the general area, you know, you got to follow up and have the rest of your team attacking at the same time.
Where did you get your indoor soccer experience?
I started first in college. I went to Hartwood College, and then 75 I played for Tampa Bay Rowdies, and I played indoors out in the Cow Palace at the finals out there, and we played the next year in the NESL.
So when you started, this was just a byproduct of outdoor soccer, something to keep you guys active during the indoor season, or during the off season of soccer.
Right, yeah, it was to keep us employed a little bit longer and give us an extra paycheck here and there.
Dr. Joe Matchnick is the supervisor of referees in the MISL, and he fills us in on the penalties.
Well, the game of soccer will be played as it is played outside, so all the laws of the game, tripping, pushing, holding, striking, charging violently and in a dangerous manner, all these will be called fouls as they are outside. But in addition, we'll have the element of the 2-minute penalty as it is in hockey. So a serious violation will require the player to go to the penalty box for 2 minutes. The other team will have a power play. If a goal is scored during that power play, the penalized player can come out.
Okay, what are the infractions then that bring about a 2-minute penalty?
Well, there would be severe tripping, severe charging, any severe nature foul, or any foul which outside would have warranted a yellow caution, a caution card. And there are 4 of those. The 3 most prevalent of these are ungentlemanly conduct, persistent infringement of the laws, and dissent, referee's dissent. But because we have the boards around this field, we also have specific for this league a 2-minute penalty for boarding. We'll not allow any boarding, any pushing, shoving, striking the player into the boards. 2-minute penalty, possible yellow card. If it's very severe, possible red card and ejection.
Do any of your referees have indoor experience in soccer?
Well, indoor soccer has been played in the country in many different kinds of arenas. Only 2 or 3 of the referees have refereed in the NASL indoor, which is actually played in an ice hockey rink with a carpet. Indoor soccer is played in the wintertime all over the north and the northeast, and these referees have refereed indoors. The reason we brought them here to Cincinnati is because we've put the carpet down. The Cincinnati Kids have been nice enough to conduct a practice session, and each referee will get experience refereeing the game as it will be played in the league.
The new game and marketing is maybe more important than what you do on the floor. The cheap seats, half of them in the building are $2.50.
That's right, 8,000, $2.50, and with 60,000 kids in Cincinnati playing soccer, this has got to be a winner.
And mom and dad?
The whole family.
Grandma, grandpa, their sisters. And really, when you think about it, we're at the top of the Coliseum. You can see it all from right up here. We're still wondering about this game. There are some very significant positive points. Your impressions of a game that may take over this winter?
Well, after watching it for a couple of weeks, Tom, I think the thing that I like the most about indoor soccer is the scoring. There's going to be an awful lot of it by both teams. And the speed at which it's played, there's very little stoppage of play. Teams change on the fly, and they're going at a breakneck speed. And I think that appeals to a lot of people. And there's a lot of scoring, a lot of cheering, either for or against the team that scores, depending on where it is. Plus the fact that we've got 12 home games to watch this winter. They have weekend matinees, everything going for them. I think it's a good product to watch.
So really, first year, not too much soccer from an indoor variety, a taste of it, a chance to see what's going to happen, and then move on from there.
Exactly, and with 60,000 kids playing it in this area, I think the people that started this league were very smart in choosing 6 markets where soccer has really caught on with the kids. And get them indoors and watch it during the winter. I think it's going to work.
And the indoor game features the all-round, highly skilled player, not a player who is really good at
defending, or as a great offensive player, or has great speed. He must have all of those skills equally distributed. And he must be rugged, and that's where the American soccer player comes in. He's built differently, for some reason, tougher maybe, just from the word go, and that American player is going to be a key to the winning team in this league.
Plus, the majority of the players on every team will be American. That's a league rule. So there are people, there are players that the kids can associate with, and who knows, maybe in a short time their pictures will be on Topps bubblegum cards.
And during this winter, TV5 will provide coverage of at least 3 kids' games, maybe even playoff coverage. Hopefully they'll make it. Tomorrow night, we'll see if the kids can deal with the fever, Trump. I'm excited about this.
Me too, from Philadelphia.
And people in Cincinnati will try something new at least once to see what it's about. Price is right, the game is active and fast. We'll see you here tomorrow night.
Absolutely, I'll be here.
The Kids and the Fever. Thanks for being with us.